to fight the good fight, every moment in every way.
It's a phase diagram. I chose water, H2O, showing the different ways that water may express itself under different conditions. So what we can say is under certain temperatures and certain pressures, water within this dark line, water exists as a solid, as ice. Under other temperatures and pressures, water expresses as a liquid between this line and this line right here. And under other conditions, it expresses as a gas. Chemically, it's still water. It's H2O. Structurally, it's expressing very differently. It's going through what we call a phase transition or a change of state. And I've shown this to you because I believe it's a beautiful metaphor for precisely what you and I are experiencing on Earth right now. We remain carbon-based beings. We remain in physical bodies, and our physical bodies are going through a change of state, a crystalline change of transition. Is an image of Buddha expressed as a being, and leading up to, all these concentric circles are all the experiences that a human must move through to achieve this Buddha state. Now the interesting thing is this, that Buddha is shown in the Buddha state, and look at this, all the experiences are given to us as vibratory codes, patterns of vibration that must be achieved before we reach this state. Now, another reason I showed you this image is because in the traditional Tibetan scriptures, if I may use that term, there is a path that is outlined. It is a path of choice where somewhere in the life of a human, a mysterious force that we call the soul may have the opportunity to leave the physical body, as we've just defined it, and transition to another state of experience. We call that transition death. This is a code that was left in the mystery schools in the Egyptian temples. We live this cycle of light and dark in every breath that we inhale and exhale, in every day of our lives as those days pass through our lives. And they also make a distinction that at some point within the lifetime of each human, we will have the opportunity to make this transition where the life force or the soul leaves the body returns to those elements that it came from, and the soul moves on into a new expression of itself, a very different experience. One man, Jesus of Nazareth, remembered the true nature of his being, the nature of compassion. He remembered that compassion. He became that compassion in his life, and in doing so, allowed a biochemical shift in his body, a genetic change, a reordering of genetic coding. And in that reordering, he allowed himself the opportunity to live a phase transition, to live a change of state. And today, we call that change of state resurrection. Now, resurrection has such a powerful connotation Whenever we say the word resurrection, for so many people, it conjures up images or religious processes. Resurrection has nothing to do with religion, although religions were built surrounding the concepts of what this alchemy is all about. This is the union, the holy union, the marriage between spirit and the elements of this earth. So what we're experiencing is this. Our earth is going through a phase transition, low magnetics, higher frequencies. We live within the fields of those transitions. We live upon the earth. Every cell in our body is attempting to maintain a resonance, to stay tuned, to stay with those magnetics, to stay with those frequencies, allowing us to also transition with the earth into this higher expression, this higher form of energy.
I choose and make a conscientious effort, and best I can. I'm not perfect, and I never will be, and I'm not going to be this full-on master, but I will do my best to not get lost in my emotions, but rather found and expressed in them, and allow the emotions to play out as well as my thoughts, but from a higher perspective, a higher vantage point, more clarified. If I come to an expression of a thought or emotion, just being more conscientious of it and allowing and freeing, and then just accountable for them. You know, I think that's the best way we can just do our best, and then play them out, and find that compassion and understanding and empathy first for ourselves. That is the number one thing. Is to find the true path to happiness. The gateway to happiness is self-compassion. Self-compassion. And self-love and self-respect, because we can't even give that to another if we haven't found it in ourselves. This is a labor of love, a very guided, creative experience of two souls, but collaborative with many of our lifetime's experiences, and Mother Nature herself as our muse and inspiration. This was a journey of discovery. It was a 5-year time period where, from the beginning to the commencement and when it officially was committed to, until the summer of last year, around this time, exactly a year, July in 2017 is when the full experience completed. And this is 1 year later, as I've been taking the time, the diligence, and the effort to process and document the experience. And I have come to this my own interpretive expression here, as the artist spent 5 years throughout the time, off and on, coming to the artistic journey himself through these dream visions that propelled him to create the art from his own interpretation of what true nature within and all around us was trying to convey the story. And I became an interpreter decoder of the works back in those days, and I was very intrigued by it and became the sponsor and joined Robert Giuliano, our illustrious guided artist, to see where the journey would take us, and because it was a very unique experience that was being presented and offered an opportunity to explore. And I pretty much surmised and felt in the beginning that there was some kind of expression of a soul trying to find itself, trying to find its way back to its core nature, and using Mother Nature as the guide and the inspiration, as I mentioned, to show the way. She's got something to say. She is sharing this dance with me right now. The trees are dancing, the clouds are swimming, the sun is shining, and it's just a beautiful, collaborative, co-creative, illumination. That's what the guided art experience really is. It's a soul finding its reflection through nature. Are you ready to meet me? Are you ready to meet the real you? It's your core origin of essence of life itself, of your truth, which is that we are all love, all light, all pure energy, as from the singularity of cosmic creation, from the source core of all life itself, and which merely exploded, expanded itself. A remembrance of all of us that have an innate gift opportunity to find ourselves. And it's just a matter of this love song kind of basically is your soul, your true love, guiding you back to you. Okay, that's why I call it the greatest love story, because we can't express and be this love and this pure light energy that we really are unless we discover that and give that to ourselves first. And we have to start somewhere, so let's start within, and then we begin. And then life is truly lived when you really find out who you really are. If we are to understand life, if we are to understand each other, if we are to understand how society works or doesn't work for that matter, right? We have to get back to our own essence first of how we can learn to find that inner peace and that inner guidance. Trust our own self first and get to know ourselves first before we can, and then be at peace with that. Be at peace with who we are, and be a living example of a guided being who is comfortable to their own innateness and their innate expression of who they are. And if you have that confidence and that sovereign independence of really standing true and solid in who you are, and be that walking example, then other people will hopefully see that light of who you are and reflect the same. Because nature is this reflection, as nature has this divine order. Nature's law is cause and effect, and like attracting like, and or a balance of opposites that work in tandem, life and death, and this type of thing. But it's all a grand balance, and we have that same beautiful natural availability within each one of us. So that's what this journey is all about. And I welcome you to this sharing, this creative expression, this journey in a collaborative presentation of different videos that I felt also from other people who have come to their own understanding of this universal truth of awareness that we all will face, because it's just it's the life force coming into its own truth of evolution, and that just means form of growth. Just as a seed, an acorn becomes a little seedling, a little plant, and then grows into a tree. This guided art experience was really inspired, moreover, from Mother Nature, and particularly the Pando Forest in Utah, which is an aspen grove of trees that have, it's actually the largest and one of the oldest living organisms on the planet. And it basically has underneath its surface a universal singular tree root system. And then the trees shoot off from that. That's what an aspen growth essentially is one living organism. And that's essentially what we are in this life force. We are that from that same living organism core of origin. And as humanity and all living, we share that innate root system of life. So when we see life in those eyes, then we can connect, because we are connected then, and we can connect to everything, even if it's something we might not like or care for. But until we get to know who we are and learn to experience life and see life in an expansive way, we have more compassion and understanding for each other and all living, no matter what form and how it comes, because deep down we know that it is a part of us.